Here's my Umarex Steel storm. I'm going to do a short video of how to disassemble it and fix the spring. When I first disassembled this, the spring was kind of hard to fix. And it was bent already. So my fix was to cut it where the bend was, but that just isn't long enough. So Umarex had to buy this. Umarex sent me another spring. Get this in the camera. Let me show you that. Here's the new spring. The old spring was cut so that it could fit, because there were some bent parts where the spring would not be smooth. I thought stretching it out would fix the problem, but it wouldn't. So here's a brand new one. It's about $5, and shipping's $5, so it's $10 total. They also sent me an extra follower, which could be handy, but I need this. Let me show how to disassemble this and show you some components. You got all your screws out, or got them loosened up all the way. I got this neodymium magnet. You can use any magnet. Here's a good way to just pull them out. There are holes. They're all pulled out. Could just go like this, but I'm just knock it out on this side, but might lose some screws, so just go ahead. Okay, that might be a faster way, but saw some more risk here. Also, I want to mention that my selector, it was about right here. Gotta make sure you take out the screw for the selector to take out the frame, because this connects to the internal. Sorry, I'm out of camera. Let's put this back. Also, take out the magazine and all your accessories. So it's tricky to pull this up. Make sure it's nice and easy. Here's my screwdriver. Oh, one more screw right here. Didn't see that there, but yeah. This Umarex Steel storm is very complex, so make sure you watch the video correctly, and make sure you don't lose any parts. If you do, contact Umarex, or if you need help, you could contact me or anyone else. Make sure the screws are out. But, oh yeah, another thing to mention, make sure your follower is forward. That way, it disassembles from the mainframe. Make sure your important parts are taken out from this side. I'll explain why later. Okay, because this side mostly has no parts. Make sure to disassemble from this side, because this is all the parts. Like I said, the spring normal, I cut it right here. Tried stretching it out, but didn't do any good. Trigger. It's aligned properly. As part of this piece, I'll show you that later. Here's this. Make sure that's in place. Sorry, let's move the light over here. So not mess with these springs. Like I said with the other pistols, when I disassemble them, there's just too many internals that it's hard to compensate or comprehend. Make sure all these are in place, because there are some. Sorry, it's kind of hard to catch while I'm trying to look at the same time. There's a spring right here. And this piece, I'll take it out for you. Here's a spring. Sorry. Usually these will just come out when you're taking this out your first time, because you might just fling out. Hold on. There we go. This piece right here. There we go. This piece right here. Stop. Right here. This might come out when you're trying to pull it apart. Also, make sure this. Take out the selector. Make sure it's in the same side. This is where how the trigger works. To put this back, it's angled this way. With this facing the barrel, the long end that way. And there's a little hole right here, like a little slot. You can fit that into here. There we go. Here's the selector. Make sure. Here's also this part that can come out and this part come out. Here's the little spring. Here's this little metal piece. Now, if this comes out, make sure that the larger part, top, is on facing this way, or facing up. And just like these little holes where this spring ram could go in, that'll move back and forth. Might need a little rag to wipe off the oil. Here it is. That's basically your safety. When there's CO2 in there, and you fire it on safe, it'll release the cocking, but it won't release the CO2. Now, to put it back, make sure this little hole right here, and this little hole, stick it in there. Make sure it's aligned with this. The first time I did this, I broke my spring. So, warning. It's a little fiddly. Sorry, I'm out of camera again. I gotta get it right. Sorry. So, once these are aligned, got these in place, put the spring. Make sure it's facing this way. Sorry, it's hard to see, but it's basically, put the spring in this pull over here. Make sure this is all the way down. Make sure it's in contact with the trigger. And I push it all the way down. This end pushing onto this, so it pushes back the trigger. So that should work. Let's put this back. Now, let's put this back together. So you got these correct. Put the trigger back on. Worry about the spring and the follower, this part, later. Because you do it when this is all assembled. So, just assemble it back together. This is my second time disassembling it. So, I have a clue. A better clue now. First time I did it, it's kind of inexperienced. So, you could risk breaking it if you lose a part. Or you can ask Umarex and buy another part. It's time to put in these screws. One by one, or I did 3. So your magazine release is in its place good, and then I'll do the selector later after I've done all this. Oops, wrong screw. Got a bunch more screws left. I have my cheap tape stand. Just get my screws here. Whoops. Just knocked it over. Okay. In here, this little spot, you can see where I'm pointing at, this little hole, that's a cocking indicator. So there's no screw in that spot. There's no screw that goes in that area. Around it, but not in that area. Make sure it screws in here. Make sure it gets the threading correctly. So when you're threading, don't over tighten. Just solid enough. Make sure it works properly and it's in its little slot. This hole needs a screw. Put it in there. These last 2 screws, and that's it. Then I'll show you put the selector back on and put the follower back in. Okay. The last time I had the follower is this direction. Test it out. Whoops. Has a click. This is that area. That area. Okay. Get my screw. Kind of want to hold the selector so it doesn't move around when you're putting the screw. And you gotta put this kind of snug. Okay, that should be good enough. Sorry, can't cock it with one hand. It's all good. Now I'm gonna show you how to put this back in. This is the broken one. So, I got my brand new one right here. Just gotta take out these staples. It's boring watching me take out staples, huh? Okay. Gotta be careful with your spring. Don't wanna mess it up. This is a brand new one. So, if you compare it, I cut off quite a bit, huh? Cut off half of it. So this is the new one, this is the old one, which I had to cut to make it fit, but that doesn't work well. So I might have made a mistake just now, or actually no, I think I got it correct. Make sure it slides in properly. I had to put in the follower in first, but I'll try improvising. This little nub is what helps push the BBs in. I have to take it out again. Yep. Well, I'll be right back. So I just took out all the screws again. So, whoops, missed a screw. Gotta put the follower in here. In camera. Make sure this little thing is in here. In that thing. Then you want to load it in from here. Now that's in there. You put the spring after. Gotta fix this piece again. Trial and error. And you pushed it. Just need to make sure. Yeah, gotta redo this. The spring is too low. Yeah, it's good enough. Now that I got my follower in here, there's that little second piece to the follower. Make sure everything's in place again. Gotta kind of pull this in, and then it's gonna get into its slot. It's inside. Now we're gonna put the screws back. But for the sake of not wasting your time, I'm just gonna put in a few screws just to make sure it's secure. Okay, so that's good enough for now. Here's my new spring. Okay, very carefully. Make sure you have 2 screws or so. I got 2. You can use something thinner to fit in here, because you're gonna be compressing the spring, and this is how you're gonna do it. You're gonna be pushing it through here, so it goes in. There's a follower, reaches the follower. Mine reached. Make sure it makes contact to it completely. Now, you can't see it on camera, but I could see it. It's in there. So now what I'm gonna do is push it in all the way, as far as I can with the finger. Then, using too thin or thinner screws, and I'm gonna just pull it like that, like so. Be gentle though. So, never mind. Gonna redo it. And also be careful at the same time. Now that I hold the spring at this distance here, I grab this, which is a piece from the area, which goes here, closes it. It has these 2 squeeze in and lock tabs, sorry. Get some light in here. Sorry, my camera sucks. So it's bring this into this hole, make sure it's aligned. It's a little hard. Make sure it's redo it. Push it back. Redo it. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure this is caught on the camera as well. And there we go. Release the spring. Make sure this is in good enough. This part. The spring is in there. Now it works. Now I've already tested all the functions. So I'm going to test out the spring follower, make sure it catches smoothly. Probably put some oil in there, make sure it's much more easier. Wipe it off after, and hope this helps. I'm going to finish putting all the screws back in. Thanks for watching.